to my channel. So today I wanted to try and make a little LED light. So I found this on a sale, and I already took it apart. So I took a blade and just cut the dome off, sanded it down so it's not as sharp. And also I took the little frame out, so the plastic glass thing, and I tested the little light. Before it was stuck under this plate, so I pulled it out so it will be nice and bright. What this does is this little LED puts the light through this plexiglass, and it is pretty thick. What I bought myself is probably the wrong kind, but this was the only thing I could get. And this is hobby glass, and it's only 2 mils thick. I think it's about half of what this is. I think this is about 5 mil and this is 2. So yeah, we'll just have to see if it works. And this is just a test. I want to make something a little bit bigger, but this was 50 cents and I just thought it would be a cool thing to start with. Let me show you what it does. So I'm going to turn off my light. So you can see it lights up all the little lines that are in there. So it's engraved. Like, it's not that deep. It's really, really shallow, but it gives a really cool effect. I'm going to turn my light back on. As you can see, it doesn't really show up in the bright lights. You know the Beauty and the Beast rose? It comes in this little container, and I thought, why not make that? So I started out with this design, but I think it's a little bit too complicated, or at least the rose part. So I ended up making this design, and I'm really loving it. I want to make it in 2 layers. So I'm going to do the petals and the rose on one layer of the plexiglass, and the stem and the leaves in the other one. And I'm gonna try and color the bottom of the plexiglass because there's only one light in here, so I cannot give the light a color. I have to give the plexiglass a color. Let's start by cutting a piece of this plexiglass. So let's see how white we need it to be. So that's 4.4 millimeters. Let's see in inches, 1/8 something, but I'm gonna stick with the centimeters. It's easier for me. So 4.4. So I'm just going to run my blade over the top. So I scored the plexiglass with my knife. I'm using a metal ruler because that way I won't cut into the plastic. After scoring the plastic, you can put it on the edge of your table, or like me, put it on something a little bit higher. I used a little piece of MDF, making sure the line is on the edge of it. Then slowly increase the pressure until it cracks. And then you just cut the protective seal on the other side, and there you go. One piece done and one more to go. So let's see if we can make the arches. So for this, I think I'm just gonna try and break the biggest edges and see if I can sand the rest of the way down. I'm not sure if it's gonna work, but first I have to take off the main bulk. So I'm just gonna do it the same as with this. Just score with the knife and break it. So I just taped these two together with a little bit of tape. For the little edges, I just use my pliers to break the pieces. But now I'm just going to run it over some 180 sandpaper, so they look a little bit more equal. And please make sure when you're breaking this and working with it, you're wearing some protective eyewear because this is really sharp. So as you can see, it was like this, and now it's nice and equal. So I'm gonna just sand the whole thing down, and then we'll be ready to put the pattern on here. For the little cutouts in the bottom, I just use a metal saw and my little pliers. Don't forget to score the little break lines with your knife. So it's time to do the engraving. So I've got the 2 pieces. I got them to be as equal as I could. And I did a little test piece just to do a proof of concept. So what I did, hopefully you can see, I did the lines on one side and then I did fill in some areas on the other. And I think it looks really nice. So I'm going to start with making the lines. I'm just going to use a little metal tool. It has a nice point on it. I'm just gonna scratch on the plexiglass. So for example, here's the little piece it came with. So if you use this point, you can just make a line just like that. And that's all you need. You don't need to go really deep. It just needs to make the flat surface imperfect. So let's see. I'm going to peel off the plastic, and I think I'm gonna start with the stem. And then I'm just going to follow these lines just like that. And I'm going to do it off camera because I'm going to have to be really on top of it with my head, so you won't even be able to see it, just because I want to make sure I get the lines on the right spot. But you get the point. Just follow the lines. I'm just cleaning up the lines and making them a little bit wider. And it's the easiest to do it with a black background. That way you can really see what you're doing. So I finished the back, or the front, however you want to call it. This is going to be the back. Put the plastic back over it and just flipped it and took this side off. And I've got this little bit on my nail tool, and it's actually for engraving glass. And I'm just going to do this side. So what I did with my test piece, so as you can see, now we've got that shadow. So I'm just gonna finish off this piece. So I finished the two pieces, and when you put them together, they make the one image. I haven't taken off the protective peel yet. I'm going to, but just not yet. So I only have the one light in here, and it's just yellow, or warm white as they call it. But I want the rose to be red and the stem to be green. I wanted to try if I can color it. And I actually tried it on this extra piece, and it worked. So I'm just going to do this edge, color it, let it dry. So I'm just going to do a couple of layers, making sure it's nice and dark. And I'll do the same with the red. So in this case I can get multiple colors with just one light source. So let's make this all pretty. And now it's time for the final reveal. I really love how it came out. Let's remove the dome so you can see it a little bit better. I painted the base all black and made some cute little petals using polymer clay. I really love how it turned out. Let me show you the side. As you can see, I just placed these two sheets of plexiglass in front of each other so they complete the design. Let's turn it on. I never thought that my idea of painting the underside of the plexiglass would actually work. I watched a bunch of tutorials on YouTube, but nobody actually told me that this was a possibility. This just creates so many options. Because you only need white light, you don't need several colored LEDs. And not only is it easier, it's also a lot cheaper this way. I already have so many ideas I want to try. Are you gonna give it a go? If so, I would love to see what you make. You can always send me a message on Instagram or even TikTok. If you like watching my videos, please subscribe. It really helps out my channel. And for now, thank you for watching, and I love to see you in the next one. Bye everyone!